and welcome to the Play Button. Today we got awesome usual panel as always.
Friends.
And so I'm excited. I'll be hosting today because we're talking about something that it's a little bit it triggers me to say the least. And that is going on tour. So I've never gone on tour, but these guys have all gone on some awesome trips, playing some shows at different venues. So, yeah, who do we have today? We have GSD at the end here.
Hi.
We have Sinistar.
Hello.
And Cloves. And, of course, Fortuna. I'll be hosting this podcast.
Yes.
So, how was your guys' nights last night? I'm kind of tired, but...
What did you do, Dan?
Yeah.
I didn't go out.
You didn't go out?
No, I blew it.
Yeah.
I stayed home and continued to clean up my new studio, which is a disaster.
Mm. Oh, yeah.
And it needs a lot of work because I have to go get stuff from the old studio today.
Right. It's the never-ending story with your move.
The move that never ends.
Yeah.
It is
I feel you, though.
Never ends.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
Is that all?
Wow. And just for the record, so we are filming on a Friday, so this is Thursday night. There's lots of things happening. What were you up to, Jeremy?
I was at Hi-Fi last night.
Mm.
Went saw Sam Binga. Shout out to Sam.
Nice.
Him and I ended up playing a little back-to-back towards the end.
Yeah.
For like a half hour, 45 minutes. So that was
Wow.
really fun. And I was pretty much like chilling there.
Nice.
Yeah. Very easy night.
Yeah.
Didn't really move around too much.
But good for a Thursday night, hey?
Yeah, it was good
Yeah.
for Thursday night.
Sweet.
Like lots of good people. Good
Nice.
people around.
There was a lot of good shows last night.
There were
Yeah.
some great shows last night.
It was,
Yeah, 100%.
Ton happening for sure.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
were like 4 or 5 shows that was just like,
I know.
how do I go to
I
all of
know.
them? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was sweet.
Crystal?
So-
I went to Render last night at Habitat.
Right.
Yeah, I had some friends playing and they killed it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of techno, which is my thing. Again, there was lots of stuff happening last night, so I could see a lot of people trying to figure out what show to go to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where I went, and
Nice.
I haven't had that much fun in a while.
That's good.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
At Habitat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just make it sound like it's like a
Well,
surprise.
no, I don't know. I like Habitat, but it's just like
Well,
Thursday
no,
night is...
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the music, right?
Yeah.
So I haven't heard stuff like that in a club in Calgary in a while. So
Wow.
I was stoked on it.
Dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd you go last night, Pally?
I went to some places.
All right.
Well, I just went to Commonwealth for some tunes provided by some local DJs and Ross from Friends.
Shout out
So-
DJ Dine and Dash, who was on the
Yeah.
podcast a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
was
he
playing
played last
Commonwealth.
night?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sweet. Yeah, shouts to
So-
Liam. What's up?
Yeah, no, it was so awesome. So, just perfect vibe, tight, cozy crowd. Everyone's nice there. So, yeah.
And some other Beat Drop staff and pals were at the Palace for the Bad Not Good show
Oh.
with J-Rock, which I was kind of hoping to go see that as well.
Yeah.
But
Shouts to Bryn. Bryn came through the Hi-Fi too.
Yeah.
Yeah, another
Nice.
one of our
Shout out
beat drop
DJ.
people.
So,
DJ.
so lots of shows happening then. Lots of cool.
it might not seem like spring outside.
Yeah.
But it's springtime in the club.
Yeah. Exactly.
Spring and spring in the club.
That's right.
So, and it just makes me think, like, you know, a lot of these artists are actually coming through town to play here. And, you know, you guys have done that before as well in other places. So, let's see. I gotta look at my list here because I don't remember what I wrote. So, what kind of places have you gone to before to play a show? So, whether you're DJing or playing some music. Dan?
Like what kind of bars or what kind of cities?
Yeah,
or-
sorry. What kind of like where have you gone for a city or yeah?
I haven't played outside of Canada before. Like my pal here. Crystal, have you played out of the country before?
I have.
You have.
Nice.
So I've never done that. I moved to Amsterdam once with a Creative Records, thinking I was going to become a big DJ in Amsterdam.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Didn't go over so well?
Google that. See if anything pops up.
Y'all Google it.
Wow.
But I used to play in the mountains here lots. That's usually the first step for local DJs in Calgary, places to
Yeah.
go play in the mountains, go play in Banff and Fernie and Golden and Revelstoke and
Right.
get out to the coast and play Vancouver and play in Whistler.
Yeah.
Even get out to the island, play in Victoria. If you really want to go for it, play in Nanaimo. You've played up in High River. High River? No. No, where'd you play? up north?
Oh, Grand Prairie.
Grand Prairie.
Grand
Yeah.
Prairie. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah,
Shout
yeah.
out, shout
Yeah.
out Grand Prairie.
GP
Nice.
Crew, what's up?
Edmonton obviously is close to here. Go to Saskatchewan. Yeah, so I only ever got to do like
Right.
the little stuff. I played in Toronto before.
Right.
But
But you like the scene around here in Western Canada.
well, it was just when I used to be doing the labels and we had like a big roster. It's just that's where we were known. It was easy, right? It's you
Right.
could put a home breaking logo on a poster,
Yeah.
and kids would show up to a party,
Nice.
right?
Sweet.
So
Wow.
a friend of ours who was a booking agent at the time, helped us set up the first kind of mountain tour, and then it's just kind of something that we kept doing and doing. We started, me and Yvonne Rankic and DJ Heeb started doing monthlies in Fernie in the winter and stuff like that, and yeah, it's there's nice people out there. If they want to party, they're happy that
Yeah.
you come.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds
Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Not Palestine.
Yeah, not Palestine.
Fernie is not Palestine, but it's still a good time, okay? Shout out Rockpile.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Crystal, what are some hot spots you've traveled to for DJing?
Mostly within Canada.
Yeah.
Mostly Western Canada. Central's pretty awesome because they like the techno
Yeah.
a lot.
They like the techno.
They like the techno. Thanks, Dan.
Mm.
And
Is that the third techno reference already in this episode?
yeah, whatever. Whatever. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, and I'm heading actually to the East Coast this summer, so
Oh yeah.
I'm doing that. And I've played in the States once. Played in
Oh.
San Fran once. That was really cool.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's like about my extent.
yeah.
But there's a bunch of little cities in Canada
Yeah.
I've
Wow.
played in.
This is gonna be your first time going out east. To play?
That far east, yes. So
Yeah.
like Montreal, hopefully Toronto.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Wow.
And hopefully beyond that, but I'm not 100% sure yet.
Are you gonna play in Brampton?
Brampton. Straight out of Brampton.
I think we've talked
No.
about this on the podcast before, but I love Brampton.
Is Brampton tight?
Dude, it's like the best suburb I've ever been to.
Really?
Sweet.
Wow.
Shout out every single person in Brampton.
Brampton,
Alright.
Ontario. What's up?
GSD loves you.
Wow.
Holler at your boy.
I've never DJ'd there yet.
Book
No.
them. Book them.
Look him in Brampton.
Wow. Have you
Like
played
disco.
Have you played in Brampton, Jeremy?
I'm not playing Brampton.
No. What?
Where?
Where have you played then?
I've played in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, you seem busy all the time, just like.
Mostly like franchises, chain restaurants,
Pizza Huts.
things like that. Couple
Yeah.
Pizza Huts,
The Great Applebee's Tour of 2013.
sizzling fajita mixtapes.
Oh!
Oh wow.
I would listen to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I traveled to a lot of places. I think furthest east I've been, in Canada in general has been Montreal,
Yeah.
and then furthest west was Victoria.
Oh wow.
So yeah,
Nice.
so yeah, I played pretty much everywhere there in between. I think.
Yeah.
And, yeah, and then in the States, I played I think all but 14 states.
Right.
Done
Well, I mean,
Hawaii. done,
Like you originally started your career though in the States, right?
Yeah, in Michigan. So yeah,
Yeah.
there even in Michigan, I've played like every venue you could possibly think of.
Nice.
Like yeah,
Sweet.
I've played it.
Have
So
a comic shop?
what's up?
You played in a comic shop?
I did not play in the
No?
comic shop. I
Aw.
played in a coffee shop.
Oh, okay.
I've played in an internet cafe.
Oh,
I started
nice.
there. That's where I started.
Is there like a comic shop where they do gigs in Michigan or something?
They don't
Whoa.
have a spot that they do gigs. They do have a really nice comic shop though. Shouts to Fault of Midnight.
I think
Yeah.
that's something
Very,
we
very
need to
good
do
comic
though.
store.
Like we need to invade the comic shops and just hey, be like, yo, we got some DJs. You got comic book day coming
I mean,
up.
I wouldn't mind.
We'll bring the tunes. You bring the comics.
That'd be really cool, actually.
Yeah.
You got the animes, we got the vaporwave. This is like
It works.
Yeah.
It works. You just play.
Yeah, I'm
Weird music.
thinking of pitching something to some place. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. Other than that, like I've played. I played Europe. I did Asia for the first time last year.
Oh wow.
Planning on going back this year. Yeah, that's kind of the extent of it. It's like
Okay.
mostly North America, Europe, and Asia.
Right. So you've gone out a couple times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Been out to Europe a few times. And
Literally everywhere.
Yeah.
I play.
He's a big deal, guys.
Wow.
I play all over the place. So yeah, it's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, but Dan mentioned I played Palestine. That was my favorite one.
Yeah.
That was like gig of my life. Really.
Really? Yeah.
That
Actually?
was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like no
Nice.
exaggeration. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That one. That was like whoa.
you were tripping when you got home. You were like the look in your eyes was like, I just had a trip.
Yeah.
It was something else, which I could only imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was quite something.
That's awesome.
So
Wow.
yeah, that Palestinian trip was like
Sweet.
shots of Abdullah.
Wow.
Hi Abdullah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, does anyone have any upcoming plans? Playing out of town soon, or
Well, it's festival season coming up, so
Yeah?
yeah.
Mhm.
you guys got some top secret stuff you can share? Or
I'm playing in Portland I'll be gone for like the month of May, so there will be a replacement at the play button.
Ooh,
Where are you
yeah.
playing in the month of May?
Well, I'm starting the end of April in Portland, and then the week after the first week, it'll be, or the second week of May, I'll be in Nelson, and then where else? Victoria the weekend after. Then I'm going to Detroit and throwing a party at Movement,
Oh.
and then that'll be kind of the gist of it.
That's
I might stay in Detroit for a bit, and then
Yeah.
be in, and then might do Denver and Austin in June. So
Wow.
Yeah.
I think we tentatively have you planned to be away for quite some time.
yeah,
Yeah.
We're gonna have to find
Ah.
who are we gonna have as a replacement?
Yeah.
this
gonna
is
be a-
this is when the dream sequence starts. You know?
yeah.
Gotta edit the dream sequence.
Yeah.
in,
No, we'll brainstorm. We'll have to brainstorm.
Yeah,
Huh.
we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I know some good people that would be awesome replacements.
Sweet. Yeah.
For me,
All right.
that will handle business.
That's
Dan.
weird because if like I left, there's just nobody who could sit here and replace me. So
Yeah.
You're irreplaceable. Oh no! My God.
So Dan, you mentioned you're probably not going out to play some shows this summer.
if I play any shows in Calgary, it'll be a miracle.
Yeah.
Let's be real for a second.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, no. I rarely play anymore.
Do you ever like help organize shows and stuff though? Cause
No, I used to. Well,
Yeah?
we're definitely gonna have to do a throwing parties episode of the podcast at one point.
yeah.
Well, I'm sure we can get some local promoter on who can tell some horror stories. But yeah, no, I have no interest in throwing parties.
Yeah.
And as people who know me know, I like to play boogie and I like to play disco and I like to
Yeah.
play music that people in Calgary don't care about.
You like the nightlife?
I like the
You like the
on the disco.
I think people like it, but it's underappreciated.
It's not a disco town. Calgary's
Yeah.
not a disco town.
Yeah.
We
Calgary's not really a techno town either.
It's not a techno
Yeah.
town.
Yeah.
But
It's a bass town.
Yeah.
Based.
it is a bass town.
Yeah.
It is actually quite a bass town.
It is.
So,
Yeah.
And I'm old. I put my time in.
Yeah.
I was DJing full time for, some years.
Yeah.
So yeah, if there are fun gigs, nice things that are specific to what I'm actually gonna have a good time doing, or if I'm helping a friend out filling in for something,
Yeah.
that's always something. But
Sweet.
no, dude, I'm semi-retired.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd check
Dues
out.
placed.
I'd check out if I was playing, half as many shows in mountains and Rivers or wherever you're playing back in the day.
Rivers.
I DJ'd at a river.
Yeah.
Yep, a few rivers.
Yeah,
done
like
that.
at a beach or. Yeah.
Nope.
No.
Cold river.
Cold River. Yeah.
Cold rivers.
Damn.
Not the river that's called Cold River, but a river that was cold.
I played a river once
Yeah.
in Texas. There was like a float thing, like they had a booth, but then like there's another float on the other side. I guess it was a different park, or
Yeah.
different like float service or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so it was just really strange because all these people just didn't know what was going on. They're just like floating along. They're just,
Oh my
like, what's
gosh.
happening?
Wow.
Like, what is this music? Like,
Yeah. Wow.
so funny.
And what about you, Crystal? What are some upcoming plans for you?
So I'm playing a few festivals outside of Calgary, and I have a few shows booked in Calgary.
Nice.
Like I said, I'm probably going to be in the East Coast.
In the East, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or more towards the East anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Central Canada.
And Central Canada, they love the techno.
Good, yeah.
Meme Festival is one of them. I'm allowed to say it because it's already been announced.
Mm-hmm.
So
Memes on deck.
Winnipeg, I'm on the way.
Yeah.
They love the techno.
They do, hey?
Yeah.
Shout out to Meme.
I know Isis has been playing in Winnipeg for years. She loves going out there.
They love it.
Yeah.
And
She was just out there too. wasn't she?
one of
She's there right now.
Yeah.
One of the, probably my opinion, festivals that I've played, one of the most fun
Yeah.
festivals I've played because they love it out there, and it's just like the energy is just so awesome.
Wow.
So-
So for this festival that you're playing, do they usually bring multiple
Yeah.
artists from out of town? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
some headliners and things like that. So
Sweet.
I think the headliner this year is Mr. C.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, Mr. C.
Wow.
She's
Yeah.
awesome.
Last year was the Orb.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because they were touring, I think, around this time
August
anyway, right?
last year,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So
Sweet.
it was a good time, and I'm really looking forward to go back.
Sweet. Yeah, that sounds exciting. So just mainly in Canada.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So I mean, that's more than I've ever done. Like, yeah.
Okay.
I
It'll
feel-
come.
Yeah,
It'll come.
The dreams,
It'll come.
they haunt me. But I've done. I'll tell you right now. I've gone to Red Deer to play a show.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've never played
in
Red
the
Deer.
cold winter.
Have you ever played Red
Have
Deer?
you
I
got
played
there?
Red Deer.
You played Red Deer.
I played at Cowboys in Red Deer.
There you go.
Oh
There's a
wow!
Cowboys
Really?
there?
There's a Cowboys there.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I played there
Yeah.
in the middle
And I
of the
played
winter with a band. We all drove out there together. Like they gave me a ride, and it was just kind of, I don't know. It was fun, but it was kind of not worth it. Like driving out for like that many hours in like -40 weather with like this much snow. So
Okay.
yeah.
I think that's a good segue. Can I
Yeah.
can I
Yeah.
interject?
Okay.
I think that's an important thing to talk about
Okay.
for touring is that trip.
Yeah.
Because when you first start, that's going to be every single
Yeah.
trip.
Totally.
And like you just said, you didn't feel like it was worth it.
Yeah.
And it always feels like that at the beginning. Like
Uh-huh.
like you go out and you're playing shows in towns, nobody knows you.
Yeah.
The first time you go anywhere, unless you have, unless you're at a place like Jeremy where you're, or where Crystal's getting, where you're releasing a lot of music on a very regular basis, you're getting booked specifically there because of the music you're releasing,
Yeah.
Right.
right? Until you
Yeah.
get to that point when you're local DJ X,
Mm-hmm.
local musician X, whether you're in a band or whether you're in, or whether you're a DJ, you're gonna show up in town and nobody's gonna know you.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have driven and hauled your gear out in the snow and hopefully someone buys you dinner if you're really lucky.
Maybe.
And gives you 2 drink tickets if you're
Yeah.
really lucky.
Yeah.
And you get to play for the bar staff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 I think
That
that's
sounds
realistic.
right.
I think the thing that bummed me about that one trip was the show was fun, but we were there for so short. Like we got there, we basically just loaded our gear, we waited 2 hours, played a show, basically packed up and left.
No.
And that was way too short. Like
That's a regular
You made a
thing,
mistake.
though.
yeah.
You should have stayed.
Yeah, I think we should have stayed like overnight or something.
It's only Red Deer for those who are watching from somewhere else. Red Deer's an hour and a half from Calgary, where,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where we live. So it's not that far. You can easily drive home after a show.
Mm-hmm.
But if you drive somewhere you know, you want to spend time with that promoter.
Yeah,
You want to
exactly.
spend time with those other acts in that town.
Yeah.
Yep.
You want to sleep in the town, go to the after party,
Yeah.
meet people. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you're like, it seemed like it was a waste, but you were in and out.
I was in and out,
And
yeah.
that
So I
can
felt like,
seem-
yeah, but I didn't have a lot of control. I was just like, well, you guys want to go, I guess, yeah,
Totally.
Yeah.
But like, if you take that extra little time,
yeah,
that can turn into a regular thing. Oh, you're going out there every 3 months now,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
totally.
right? This
Yep.
guy's your friend now. This girl's your
Yeah.
friend.
Yep.
They like you. They like your band. Oh, you put a new mix out. You send that to them. You know, still,
Yeah,
those first 5-6 shows, maybe still nobody's coming out.
Yeah.
Guess
Yeah.
what?
Totally.
You got a gig. You got an in. You got a thing to do.
Yep.
And that leads to the next thing.
Yeah. Slow
And the
build.
next thing. Like,
Total
for
slow
most
build.
people touring, it's not. It doesn't start out as, oh, I have a hit record.
yeah, yeah,
I'm getting booked for Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right.
know, for most people, you want to go on tour, it's work.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's busting your butt, and it's driving in the snow. If you're from up here, you know, you're not playing.
Oh, from Michigan too, man.
From Michigan too,
Same.
right.
Yeah, you have to drive everywhere.
You're not
so-
playing
yeah.
in Fernie
Yeah.
in August, because guess what? Nothing's going on. You're
Yep.
playing in February because there's snow. It's mountains, right?
Yep.
Like, that's what you do up here.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah, it's
think-
like you're going all year in Michigan, really.
Yeah.
It's like you got to drive, and then I go to Cleveland. Cleveland's a 2.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
Shouts to Cleveland, and yeah, I've driven in that snow before. I think recently it was like I was going to go play a show.
Yeah.
Like, you know, as an established thing, because I played Cleveland like 6 or 7 times, even more than that, I think. And yeah, like I had to drive there. It was like it was fine going, and you know I was I was like having conversation with somebody. 2.5 hours went by like that.
Nice.
Now when we were coming back, there's a snowstorm that happened, and yeah, it was pretty much like feet of snow, all on the roads. They hadn't salted anything,
Yeah.
like not even
It's
on
so
like
fresh,
the toll
yeah.
roads,
That's
any of
sketchy.
that. So what was supposed to be 2.5 hours took me 6 to get home.
Yikes.
Yeah, right. Like insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, you
Yeah,
just have to go
because-
through it. Like
Yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah,
there's definitely
so-
some let's call it hardships that you need to overcome.
Yeah,
when
totally.
you're in that situation, but I think your perspective on it certainly has an effect on your success or your experience with it, because I think when this happened, my little out of town show, this was like 5 years ago maybe, so I had a very different perspective when I was going to a show in general.
for sure.
Whereas, like, I was just kind of there. I'd talk to my friends, and that was it. I wasn't really socializing outside of my little circle. So, but now, like, I'll go to a show and just talk to the people working at the place, the people playing the show, the people, just hanging out at the stage. Just, you don't know. It's just fun to talk to people. So,
yo,
yeah.
if you go to Village X, and that would be, I actually want to play that place. I don't know if it exists, but where you going?
Village
I'm going to
X.
Village X. But you're going to Village X, and like I said, you make friends with the bartender, and the bouncer is your homie at the end of the night because you're nice to him.
Yep.
And the cook comes out and gives you food, and you give him a little tip, and the promoter's nice, and like all these people, there's a meeting at that bar, and they're looking at the schedule. Oh, who should we bring out here? And somebody goes, dude, let's bring those guys from Calgary back. Those guys were
Right.
awesome.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And they're not awesome because the show was good.
Yeah.
They're not awesome because the music was even good sometimes.
They're
Do you know what I
homies
mean?
now.
They're
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
awesome
People.
because we like hanging out with that person.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have like it sounds kind of stupid or lame, but
yeah.
that's most of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's really
Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
most
yeah.
of it. Like,
Yeah.
that's why you play places over and over and over
Yeah.
again. Lots of times it doesn't have anything to do with your music.
Yeah.
And it sounds sucky to say, but it's
Yeah.
true. Like,
Your buddies with the sound guy.
it has to do
Yeah.
with you being a nice person who gets along with the people at the place that
Yeah.
you're at. Like,
Yeah.
that's a huge part of going on tour and
Totally.
making that impression.
Right.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you play on Friday that week in Village X and somebody else plays on Saturday, and the person on Saturday has the same show as you but doesn't talk to anybody and comes in and does their show and goes back to their hotel and goes to sleep, guess who's getting booked for that next time?
Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Unless you really, really, really have to be somewhere else the next day.
Yeah.
Right? Like, even with that, it's
And
like you can still hang out
And-
like for
and-
like an hour.
And you can even do it in a manner that's. But I really would advocate that if that's your first trip to the place, even if you have to be somewhere the next day, suck it up.
Yeah, for real.
If that's your
Yeah.
first time somewhere,
Totally.
suck
Yeah.
it up.
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
If it's your fifth time, go to bed early.
Right.
Go to bed.
Yeah.
Like I've been
Made-
here.
You've made those impressions. You've
Yeah.
made those friends. Da 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 da. But
Yep.
Yeah, if you can walk in the bar and someone knows your name, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like if you show up in a town the next time and
Yeah.
the bouncer's like,
Yeah.
"Hey Gabe, nice to see you, man," you're like, "I'm in."
Yeah.
And that's good, and
Exactly.
it's not being shady, it's not being manipulative, it's just human nature, right?
Yeah.
You want to hang out with people who you like,
Totally.
Yeah.
and if you work in a bar all the time, every night, night in and night out, you don't want DJs or bands coming through who are rude to you or mean to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's many of those. I've
Yeah.
heard absolute like terrible stories about
Yeah.
just people just being rude and disrespectful
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
they feel like they're in this position of
Power.
power.
Yeah.
Basically a position of
Wow.
power.
Well, that's a whole other can of worms. But
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
This conversation does tie into this next topic though that we've had that I've been thinking about. So it's how did you get to this point, which is this networking, this touring, this sucking up these hard times.
I
So-
burned all my bridges. That's
Yeah.
how I got to this.
May the bridges I burn light my path.
That's good.
Dark German.
So Dan won't be part of this conversation, but but maybe Crystal, like, do you have any starting out tips? When you were a young performing DJ out there, just getting your name out there.
I played in clubs for free for a really long time.
Oh wow, yeah.
Hung,
Yeah.
hung out at the club and just like made friends with people. And for now, I walk in, they like, oh hey, Crystal, like they
Yeah.
know my name kind of thing. And then you just kind of like hopefully, go up from there. But another thing too, because I am a producer first, I really heavily focus on my production. And I firmly believe that is a huge benefit
Right.
for like touring DJs anyway. Because like to me, people, if they like your music
Right.
and whatnot, and on top of the whole networking thing,
Yeah.
I think it's an advantage.
Right. Because you're sharing something more unique or more
Yeah.
original. Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, like, production's super huge, and that's what I tend to focus on. And it's gotten me places, so far.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just,
Yeah.
for me, what,
Yeah.
yeah, and just being humble and all that, too.
Now.
Yeah, being nice.
To get past a certain level, you 100% either need to be producing records. Like when it comes to touring, you need to be producing records, or
Yeah.
you need to be like a murder turntablist.
Yeah.
Like you need to be doing something above just
Yeah.
being a club DJ.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like to get past a certain level.
Yeah.
of-
Even
Exactly.
even on that level, like you just have to be the first in terms of like a lot of music.
Oh yeah.
Like if you have an ear for some of the most upfront or some of the most unique things, because I know there's like tons of DJs that are just DJs, like they have
Yeah.
not put
Yeah.
out a
Yeah. I've met so
record,
many. Yeah.
but they started something.
Yeah.
They were the pioneer or something, or they just like have a really 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 good ear. They're not. Yeah,
Those are definitely an exception.
it's a
Yeah,
good
so-
anomaly. That's for sure.
Like super DJ selector.
Yeah, that type of
1 million.
deal.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like
To me, like, there's a ton of DJs that are up and coming around the world. Like,
Yep.
thousands.
Yeah.
But how many of them can actually like produce like a really good track, So that's, to me, that's what stands out, and
Well-
for me, that's what I focus on is my producing.
And it's also the easiest way to link with someone, like having a song that someone likes
Yeah.
on their phone or in their iPod. That's direct, right? Like, if you're just a DJ, then someone needs to see you DJ live. Generally,
Yeah.
they can
yeah.
even listen to your mix on Mixcloud or
Yeah.
whatever, and it's like, oh, that was cool. But to really connect with someone who's a really good DJ,
You gotta go.
you have to see
Yeah.
them live.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to have a hit record on Beatport or somewhere charting, and it's like that's the best way to
Yeah.
get to that level
Totally.
for
Nice.
sure. And it's the easiest. It's
Yeah.
the best and the easiest way.
It really
Like,
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hard work.
I wouldn't say it's like
Yeah.
easy.
Well, it's easier than
It's attainable. Yeah.
It's easier than trying to be Qbert. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like making a really good song in Ableton is easier than putting in 15 years of
Yeah.
Yeah.
turntablism
Yeah.
to
Oh, yeah.
get
Literally
to the top of your
knowing,
thing. Do you know what I mean?
knowing
Yeah.
every part of that technique.
Yeah.
So
Like-
every screw, every thing you can adjust
Yeah.
in that turntable. But
And
that's
Yeah.
a lot.
and for,
That's a whole-
and,
yeah.
for
That's a whole-
kids, and for kids who do want to be Qbert, please do it because like there's and like turntablism is a whole nother thing and there's
Yeah.
always dope kids coming up, but that's a much more difficult way to like
Yeah.
Yeah.
get to that level of touring that we're talking about. Like
Yeah.
there's a like turntablists that get to tour the whole world on a regular basis.
That's pretty unique. Yeah.
30,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not many.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not many at all.
30, 40 maybe. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And they,
Like-
and those guys have won world competitions.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Because of how good
How
they
good
are.
they are.
that's
yeah.
what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, but people who put out good records,
There's so many.
There's
Thousands.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
tons
that's
of
what I
people.
mean. That's
Yeah.
what I mean. It's easier, right? Like
Totally.
it's just the numbers
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
That's do that.
It's perhaps
Yeah.
easier to find your own voice when making your own records
Totally.
than
Yeah.
trying to express that with turntablism and your
Totally.
style.
Yeah.
It's a Yeah. It's
Yeah.
there. It's,
Because you have to, that's like a select family. You have to
Yeah.
be, you have to be in with that
Yeah.
turntablist family.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Nice.
sure, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's dope.
That's good. I actually had a follow-up question for you though. So you said you played a lot of free shows.
Yes.
So what kind of venues are we talking about that
Oh,
you'd like to
clubs.
play? Yeah, clubs.
Clubs for
mainly.
free clubs,
Yeah.
And then eventually, when you start playing out more, and in my case, like producing and playing out more,
Yeah.
people started approaching me,
Mhm.
and then that's when they kind of offered like that monetary
Right.
compensation, or whatever the case is, right?
Yeah.
But to start out, I definitely played free for a very long time.
Right. But you like to focus on in the club.
Yeah.
So because I know I have friends who've been offered and like they like to do kind of off the wall type of shows where it's like a summer bike party where
Yeah,
things
I'm
like
not that kind
or
of DJ.
like an outdoor
the kind of
festival
DJ.
at the farmers market where they're doing this thing and it's just a little bit off the wall and just fun.
I
but,
will play festivals. Like I love festivals.
Yeah.
But not like a
But like
farmer's
a
market
free
or
show,
something.
like yeah.
Yeah.
a free
no.
farmers market show.
Well, you
Yeah,
might get
no.
free food and stuff,
no,
but yeah,
a
No.
$500 farmers market
Yeah.
show.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking
Yep.
about?
that big one.
You still gotta.
I got that open
Yeah.
format list ready to. I can
Yeah.
do it in my sleep.
Yep.
Call me,
So
call her.
the thing is, though, you got to know your worth too, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
once
exactly. Yeah.
got X amount of shows under your belt, and
Yeah.
you're building a name for yourself. Like you got to know your worth too.
Yeah.
And if you keep, in my opinion, if you keep playing for free, these promoters or club owners or whatever are going to keep asking you to play for
Yeah,
free.
exactly.
And so
Yeah.
that has to stop at some point if
Yeah.
you know your worth.
I don't think you should play for free
Yeah.
at all.
I don't think so either.
Well-
unless
No.
unless it's a charity event or like the opportunity of a lifetime.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what
no,
I mean?
for real.
Like
yeah.
Yeah.
I never played free shows. I'm not playing free shows.
yeah.
At the
I
most,
always ask right off the bat.
Yeah.
Great, this sounds awesome. What's your budget? If they don't message
Yeah.
you back,
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
done.
At
Yeah.
most, though, like I would play if I, break even.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah,
Right?
no, break even.
So
yeah.
if I like have to travel somewhere, but I get compensated for that
Mm.
without maybe getting a little extra. But if that show is like worth it,
yeah.
Yeah.
I would be okay to break even.
Yeah.
If
100%.
if it's not worth it, like who else is playing or whatever, then no, I won't do it.
Yeah.
No, but that's different because you're getting some sort of compensation,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like breaking even is different than
Literally
Then
not
losing
making
money,
any.
yeah.
I'm
out of
paying
your
for
pocket.
drinks in
Yeah.
a small empty bar,
I-
playing for free.
Travel to another city to
Exactly.
do
Took
it.
a cab.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's too much.
I would not do that.
No.
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 Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking about some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Is
yeah.
your memory's a little rusty on this?
No,
Yeah.
no. They're very sharp. Like they're bringing up very old memories. I'm like, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Wow.
just knowing your worth, Like
Yeah.
somebody asked me to play in a different city, and yeah, they just I don't know. They still thought I had the same fee from years ago.
I see.
Oh, it
And
was
thought
like
I
someone
was-
from Detroit.
No,
Oh,
it wasn't. Yeah, like I would have laughed in their faces actually if it was somebody from Detroit. I'd be like, "What are you doing?" And that's kind of another thing too, and I'll get to that in terms of like local versus playing out of town.
Right.
Yeah, but this out of town promoter was like, all right, cool, like we want to get you, and he was like, all right, budget's 4, flights are 3, and I was like, no, sorry, I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm like, I'm not gonna walk away with $100. I thought you were talking like flight, and then you were gonna give me like $400, right?
Right.
And I can find some stuff later on, like around. And yeah, he was like, "Oh, sorry, man." Like, yeah, he's like, "I didn't know that your fee was like different." And I was like, "Yeah, man, like, yeah, my fee went up a bit."
Wow.
So yeah, going off what you're saying, like, yeah.
So know your worth and
always talk about that at the beginning.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Talk about that early. Start early.
And if it's a big show, for the love of God, get a contract.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, like, with the local thing, right? Like, I'm around here. Like, most of the shows that I attend are, friends of mine are headlining, so on and so forth. Maybe I'll jump on, like, on their set towards the end,
And that's for
That type of
free,
stuff
right?
for fun.
But that's a different thing. It's
Right.
like
Yeah.
when we did the AimCon
Yeah.
party here,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Like last fall. I used to shout out AimCon. Like we were DJing here, but we're at Beat Drop.
Yeah.
It's
fun.
like it's
It's
different.
fun.
It's like a
Funny.
fun friendship. Like you don't show up to a house party and after party and you're like, yo, where's my $400?
yeah. Don't do that.
Like
Yeah.
that's a different thing.
Yeah.
But we're talking about dealing with a promoter.
Yeah.
We're talking about there's a
An
budget
actual
for the
venue.
show.
100%.
There's a door person taking money at the front of the
Yeah.
club.
Yeah,
like this is a
100%.
different thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
An established venue with some history.
Yeah.
That hosts events.
well, yeah, and I just want to be clear because I'm like, don't play for free.
Yeah.
But
Don't
There-
play for free.
but there's always exceptions.
yeah.
I'm like, never ever play for free, no matter what, until you feel like it's a really fun time to play for free.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right?
It's
And it's
Yeah,
like, and it's
totally.
just kind of chosen like a beat drop thing here.
Yeah.
Like
Dude,
last night,
we're-
even I was
we're-
like,
yeah.
I brought my USB stick, and I was like,
There you go.
cool.
If it's
Let's
a,
just
if
play.
it's,
Yeah.
if it's a tight homie, then
Yeah.
whatever.
But if
right?
it's the promoter who's been exploiting you for a year,
Exactly.
Yeah.
that's a different thing. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They always call you
I
and
think I
message
played
you.
for free a little too long, but you know what? That's in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
That's
Yeah.
good.
I think Detroit's like where I came up. It was different because you kind of built up to that, but Detroit was so insular in the sense that you could actually like stay in Detroit and still like make money.
Yeah.
And like play as a DJ
Yeah.
and so on and so forth.
It's a mecca.
Yeah, it totally is. And yeah, so that was like, I kind of had a different upbringing in that sense of like, all right, I'm like, that's why I played all these venues like crazy. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I was playing like for free at one point, and it was like $20, that was $50,
Right.
that was $100.
Yeah.
Then it turned into like 4 or 5, then it was like played festivals
Yeah.
out there. It
Yeah.
was a build. You know?
And these kind of skills, this like knowing your worth, getting paid, to bring it back to we're talking about touring.
Yeah.
Like this is essential things, especially when you're in a place where you don't know anybody.
Yeah,
Right? If you're the person, like let's say you don't have an agent who's taking care of the payments.
yeah,
Let's say you don't have a manager who's been dealing with that or who's with you on tour. You're by yourself. You're the person who's in charge of getting paid. These are things that are essential for you to be able to deal with and to know what's going on when you show up at Village X to play at Club Z.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with promoter,
Yeah.
and where's my money?
Yeah. Yeah, you can't be. Don't be shy to ask about that. You know.
You need to.
Yeah.
You need, like you're
Yeah.
like somebody eventually is probably gonna try to rip you off.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I've chased people.
Yeah.
I've chased people through the venue.
Yeah.
It was a big venue, so yeah.
No,
Like-
it happens. Yeah.
And you need to be prepared to, and it's like we were talking about like people like them knowing that if somebody knows they can rip you off once, then they're gonna rip you off.
They're gonna keep doing
Yeah.
it.
Right?
That goes back to you gotta know your worth eventually.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Totally.
No, that's awesome. Really good insight, guys. Thank you.
You're gonna realize this is gonna be Gabe when he goes play out of town. So, Where's my money?
Yeah, where's my money?
Really? Shy Gabe? No.
Yeah.
Shy Gabe.
Well, I will
Shy
say,
Gabe.
Pulls his knuckle dusters out.
oh my gosh.
He's got the tire iron in his keyboard, like, thing.
So
We're not advocating violence.
yeah.
Don't have it. Don't smash the CDJs.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Well.
I just thought of something.
Yeah.
That video?
I played a thing in Montreal, and my homie Gabe, shout to Gremlins, we all played, and the promoter was being very shady and decided like he didn't want to pay us right then and there. And I was DJing, I'm like playing along or whatever, and Gabe like leans in, he's like, yo, he's like, you should stop playing because we're gonna take the CDJ.
What?
Oh, what?
He's gonna take the CDJ until they pay us.
That is funny.
Don't do that, kids.
Wow.
But yeah,
Real life story.
real life
Yeah,
story though.
That is
Could happen.
Could happen. And like sometimes
And worse. And worse can happen. But
Yeah.
that's
Bit savage.
that's for a different podcast.
bit savage, but
Don't
okay.
take the CDJ, but
I think
sometimes you might have to take the CDJ.
I'm gonna have to think about this a bit.
Yeah.
It's very different though, you know, working as like an artist or with a band, like the kind of venues and the kind of pay and the way that they deal with bands is a little bit different. But I think a lot of these rules still apply.
They do.
All of them
100%.
really apply. It's just showing those promoters like, yo, we're worth this. Like we're not just here for a free pizza, you know? So,
Yeah, and knowing that stuff, having that stuff all lined up.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
have email, have
Yeah.
you know, like
treat it like a business.
it is
Yeah.
a business.
Yeah.
What you're doing is a business. If
Exactly.
you're getting paid for something,
Yeah.
that's business.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So,
Correct.
Great. I think it's a really good time, just because of the awkward silence. It's a good time for our break. Welcome back. So we'll had just a little break, so I think we're feeling refreshed to continue the conversation. Let's go back to Jeremy and Crystal.
Yeah.
You're the rising stars at Beat Drop.
Up and coming since 2007.
Yeah.
I like
So-
that. That's good.
So why don't we talk about a little bit for our audience, anyone who's curious of, how do you start from the bottom and get to headline shows at a festival? How to get booked overseas? How to get to that level of just like, you don't really have to do your own booking anymore. You get calls, you get emails, and it's like, this is your life now,
It's your life, fam.
Yeah.
DJ Sinistar, this is your life.
This is your life.
So, Jeremy, why don't you share a bit of your history?
In terms of out of town gigs? In terms of
Well,
out of town
yeah,
gigging?
just starting out in Detroit
Yeah.
and kind of moving up to where you are now.
So, yeah, a lot of that, like, I really started DJing, like, or found an interest in DJing when I was about 16. And then around 18, I was, like, in college and, like, hitting, like, I had more free time. So, in the times that I wasn't in school, I was at the record store.
Right.
So I was, like, buying more records and, like,
Yeah.
trying to build my collection,
Yeah.
my collection of
Swapping
things.
records with people.
Yeah, swapping
Yeah.
records. Like,
Yeah.
I would meet with friends of mine. We would switch records, and like, I'd buy records from him, and so on and so forth. And yeah, I kind of picked up from there. And I used to go to his house because he had better turntables than I did, and better mixer than I did. And yeah, like practice there and kind of like learn from him, and so on and so forth. And yeah, at one point in time, I was like, okay, I'm ready to start like getting out there and playing more shows and things like that. And I ended up attending a Monday night at this club called Necto. Shouts to Necto. Yeah, they basically ran a goth night upstairs, and then downstairs was like a drum and bass
Oh, wow.
jungle room, and then they had at one point in time they had a separate room that was just like hip hop and beats and stuff.
Nice.
And yeah, I went there for like 5 years. The I guess the ownership of that night got shifted over to someone else, and that other person made me a resident.
Oh.
So I was able to have a Monday night to go to.
So you had a nice break, a nice opportunity to jump in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to play shows and like,
Yeah.
you know, I would open up the night to play like a few hours and test some things out. That's how I found out about all this new gear and
Right.
et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So fast forward to like 2006 or so. I just started making music. I was like, I'm gonna spend like 6 months and really
Right.
like hone my craft, you know. And
Nice.
you know, one of my first tunes got picked up. I started in like January-ish, and it got picked up in June. So
Wow.
yeah,
That's
it's like I
pretty
just
good,
worked
yeah.
and you know
Yeah.
did that. And later on down the line, you know, more people started to hear about me and my music and stuff.
Sweet.
And I think it was like 23 at the time. I'm 32 now, but my first out of town gig was in, I want to say, it was in Ohio for sure. It was a toss up between, my first big one was in Cleveland. And then my first like little, hey, come play this night, we'll give
Yeah.
you gas money, was in like Toledo, which is
Ah.
like 45 minutes from Detroit. And then Cleveland was like 2.5 hours from Detroit. So yeah, the big
Nice.
one was like the Cleveland one. That was like
Yeah.
kind of double headlining with another friend of mine from Michigan.
Yeah.
And
Was that like a big deal for you to
Oh, yeah.
be playing that? Yeah.
yeah, I mean like
Yeah.
that was the first flyer like for
Right.
out of town gig that I had.
Like your first little soccer trophy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. Pretty much. I was like, yeah,
That's a good tour name.
yeah, soccer trophy tour.
Soccer trophy tour.
Yeah, like that. So yeah, it kind of picked up from there, and then it turned into like me, you know, flying over to California and playing a show. And,
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So
and then-
at this point though, are you you're already getting booked by other people? You're not approaching venues and collectives or
a little bit of
labels?
both.
Yeah?
A little bit of both. Some of it was they were just hitting me up out of the blue.
Right.
I still had my Monday, so I wasn't really too concerned with like leaving town so much. And then like 2010 rolled around, and then in those past few years I was getting like release after release, and
Nice.
really really big releases, and I just picked up from there, and
Nice.
everyone just started hitting me up. I was able to contact people based
Right.
on my music. And they're like, oh, you know, I make so and so, or you know, I'll send them mixes and stuff. And they're like, oh, hey, we know you are. and
Yeah.
Did you come through? And then, I say about 2010 is when I got my first agent, and
Sweet.
I did a whole tour and
Right.
all that stuff through.
But
him, so.
you found an immediate change in how you were being, I guess, pursued or booked.
Oh
or-
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Like,
after you started producing music, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like once I started producing, it changed
Yeah.
a little bit more. It wasn't so much that I was making music; it was the fact that I was like getting music out on these particular labels that
Right.
were,
That's a big one.
that
Yeah.
were
It's like
um,
instant legitimacy on, you know, someone
Yeah,
who likes
exactly.
the music that you're into, you released on this label they love.
the
Boom.
genre
Yeah.
that I was in. I was getting releases on
Right.
very big labels that reflected that whole genre worldwide.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like
So-
that was like kind of the big thing. For
Yeah,
me,
that's
so.
like a stamp of like authenticity for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And I did that at such a young age, and it was
Yeah.
like
That's
sweet. Because I watched other people like in my age range. They were huge.
Yeah.
They're huge at one point. Like there's this one kid, it was Alex Perez. I think he started when he was about 20 or 21. So that was inspiration for me. I was like, well,
Wow.
I'm 20. I'm 18, 19.
Sweet.
I love drum and bass. Like, I think
I
could-
want to party.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like, no, I want to.
He's just like me.
He's just like me, man. Nah, he was making, he's still making incredible music, but
Yeah.
at that time I was like, wow, like,
Yeah.
I want to make stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
I want to,
pretty
like,
sweet.
know people like that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when one final question, it's like your perception or your attitude about DJing, like how you were DJing before the kind of boom that you had. Was there a difference in how you were playing, or how you were networking, how you were treating your business?
Networking was different. I don't know. Like, I did a lot of street teaming as a kid.
Yeah.
So, a lot of my time was spent at home on AIM. On
Oh,
AOL
yeah.
Messenger. And that turned out to be, like, the main thing that a lot of drum and bass people were using, especially in the UK.
Interesting.
So, it kind of, like, stayed linear to where I was like, okay, I'm making music now,
yeah.
but I'm still using the same...
Yeah.
I still have these same contacts.
Same networking
Yeah,
tools.
yeah, it's the
Yeah.
same networking tools. So
Right.
I can still keep sending people this music
Okay.
and so on and so forth. Like, I wasn't really emailing. That was the crazy part.
But did it change, like, when we're talking about, like, direct networking? Like, did you change the way you're dealing with people? Like, does your personality just let you do that naturally? Go to a club, talk to bouncer, talk to bartender. You know what I mean? Like those direct.
Yeah,
contacts.
not to be weird about it, but yeah, that's I
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
I
You're
just
just
kept
like
it the
that.
same.
Yeah.
I was just
Jolly
like,
guy.
Yeah, yeah, I guess. I mean, I'll let you have it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, but at that point, like, it was just like I just, did this. I've done pretty much the same thing. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, here's my stuff. This is what
Yeah.
I do, because I can't expect everyone to know who I am.
Well, and
I can't assume
no.
everyone to know who I
You need to
am.
assume that nobody knows who you are.
Yeah, assume that
That's what
nobody
you,
knows
That's
who I am.
what
Yeah.
you need to do. You need
Yeah.
to assume nobody knows who you are. Nobody thinks you're important.
Right.
That's what you need to assume.
Yeah.
Because then you'll be surprised at who knows you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Like-
you appreciate it.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, snap. Like,
Yeah.
that's you. And I'm like, it's
There
me,
you go.
I guess. It me.
Wow. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh look,
so-
it me.
It me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's
Sweet.
important to, I don't know, it was important for me to, keep the networking
Yeah.
relatively the same.
But the process or what your game like is working, so you're not changing. You're just
I hit people
doing
up,
it.
send them music. I'll never try to spice it up with,
Yeah.
oh, I think you might be into this. Or, like, oh.
I love it when people say, I think you're really gonna like this track.
Yeah, I'm like,
It's
if
like,
you
why?
ever, advice time. If you ever put that in email, there's a 99.95% chance that person's not gonna like that track.
right.
Just send it to them, send them a link, say thank you. If it's someone that you don't know, or be like, hey, let me know what you think. Chat soon.
Yeah.
Especially when it's from someone you don't know.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. I'm like, how do you know what
What I like. What I like
how,
right now.
How do you know? You don't.
Yeah, exactly. You don't
Wow.
know. You
Think
know
I'm
what I
gonna
like.
like this track.
Got some internet stalkers, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, it's because music's like it's one of the most personal things there is, right?
Yeah.
It's like your taste in music, your
For
taste
real.
in art, your taste in
Yeah.
like whatever it may be.
And it changes so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
It is very personal. Yeah.
until you know somebody really well, I think it's hard to know what kind of music they're gonna like.
100%.
Like,
Yeah.
I know, like me and my girlfriend have very different taste in art, in paintings.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I still don't know exactly what she likes. I
Right.
don't get it. But I'll get there where I'll be like, here's some whack things that you like. Here, check this
Yeah.
out. Right?
Yeah.
So instead of saying, "Hey, I think you like this," you ask, "Hey, do you like this?"
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Eh,
You're just like, okay. So
no, don't even do that. Just go, hey, here's this dope thing I made.
different conversation.
for
different
real.
conversation.
Yeah.
like-
okay.
Just
like-
be like, yo, here's a tune.
It's kind,
Like,
yeah.
here's a folder of
It's kind
things.
of a thing like, this is my thing. I'm sharing it with you.
yeah.
If you like, you like. If you
Yeah.
don't like, you don't like.
You're like.
Yeah, like-
you know, like.
like-
I can't, I
Yeah.
can't change, unless you ask me to. Unless you find, if you're asking me to change it because you find interest in it, that's a different
yeah.
thing,
Can I ask Jeremy a follow-up question?
Okay.
What's
Okay.
up?
How did you get set up with your agency, and then how did that change the way that you tour?
They knew, the first one, he knew who I was, he knew about my music. And I was like, I hit him up. I was like, I need representation.
You hit him up.
Yeah. I was like, I need, I want to work on music and focus on music.
Right.
I need somebody to field these bookings for me. But not for nothing, because I'm still that type of person that will hit promoters up.
Does your agent get mad at you?
No. He
He
actually
still gets a cut anyways.
He actually encourages it because of the fact that if I hit them up and say, hey, let's sort a date out, like I've got these dates open.
Talk to Steve.
Yeah, and then go talk to Matt.
Right.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I'd be like, here's his email, go talk to him.
That's a good
And that's it.
setup. Yeah.
Like, that's not, I'm not like, oh, okay, here's a contract.
You don't cut the deal.
I don't cut the deal.
Yeah.
Nope. And
Nice.
like people just hit me up because they do it anyway.
Yeah.
Even though as many times as we tell them not to,
Yeah.
it's like they're going to do it. You know what
Wow.
I mean? And it's just so much easier to be personable about it instead of, I think there's a person. Yeah, there's like a personability.
A person.
Personability.
A personality.
We'll make a word up today about I don't know. There's something human about just saying, hey, okay, cool, I've got these dates open.
Yeah.
I know I have these dates open.
Yeah.
Please hit my agent up.
Yeah.
But I'm down to do it.
That's awesome.
Instead of
It's that
just
medium ground.
instead of posting up, just shooting them an email.
Yeah.
And going, all right, cool, like.
Instead of responding,
later.
talk to my agent.
Talk to my agent.
Right? Like, that's rude.
Yeah.
It's so rude.
Yeah.
Or, hey, totally, I can play for X amount of dollars on this date. That's also rude to your agent, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
You have to be,
because he's
right.
trying to get you he's trying to get you the most.
yeah,
the most,
so you
right?
need to be that. And like, not everybody has the social gifts that you have, Like, for myself, I had to learn. It was learned. It was like, okay, I'm going to be nice to people tonight. Like, for real, though. You know
For
what I mean?
real.
Like,
I'm sometimes still trying.
what's
Yeah.
that?
I'm sometimes still trying.
I'm every day I have to wake
Yeah.
up and I go like this in the mirror. Let's go do our day.
Yeah. What was the thing you were saying the other day? You encourage yourself in the mirror, like.
I sing my own name.
Yeah. Dan.
Dan Marie, Dan Marie, Dan Marie,
There you
Dan
go.
Marie, Dan Marie, Dan Marie. I sing my name. It
Yeah.
makes me feel good about myself. Yeah.
Top tip.
Top tip:
So-
sing your name to yourself.
Wow.
If you're having a bad day, say your name to yourself because
I like it.
I think it's scientifically proven that your name is the sweetest ears. Like, it does stuff to your brain that nothing else does because it's the thing you hear from when you're a little baby, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
your mother, father, or grandma or caretaker or whoever, like, they say your name to you. They
Yeah.
sing it to you when you're a little baby.
And it's so cute.
Yeah. So if you're having a bad day, start singing your name to yourself, and I guarantee you're gonna feel at least a little bit better.
Interesting.
Even especially if you're on tour.
Hey,
Oh,
for
there you
real.
go. Wow.
If you're in the
Sweet.
hotel, just I miss my mom. Sing your name.
Yeah. Sing your name.
It's like she's there.
All right.
Aw.
Well, thanks, guys. I think we
Cute tips.
got to turn it over to Crystal to talk about
Yeah.
her story.
I want to hear this.
Yeah, I want to hear the story.
We got so wrapped up in things. What's the question again?
So, tell us about your humble beginnings, and at one point, there was a change in your booking, how often you were playing, what shows you were playing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like I've said before, I'm a producer first, so I started making music before I was even playing shows.
Right.
So I really value my production time.
Mhm.
That's what I focus on more so than DJing.
Mm.
And I started getting my first shows actually was in clubs, but again, I was playing for free. And that went on for like a year or two, which was way too long. And it was more of me just trying to get my name out there. And just like what Jeremy was saying, as soon as I started signing tracks, my
Right.
name started getting higher up on the list.
Mm.
And eventually, I was getting approached to, play events within Calgary, like locally.
Right.
And then headlining those events. And then it just kind of like snowballed from there, and
Right.
it got better. And then I started releasing on bigger techno labels, and that sort of put my name even higher. And then festivals started approaching me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because the labels are now finding your music through that distribution network. Or
Yeah,
through
it's
that,
honestly, and
Yeah.
you releasing music and them just exploring some.
Yeah.
I find that some labels do that. I know we do that for my label. We kind of just explore to see what's out there, and then we listen to their music, and
Yeah.
maybe we'll hit them up. But and then festivals started approaching me, and then eventually one of the label festival owners for meme festival.
Mm-hmm.
He started an agency, and then he eventually approached me and said, "Hey, like, I am starting this agency. Like, do you want to work with us?" And I did, because he had a lot of connections in the techno world,
Nice.
both within North America and outside. And this was just actually within the last year, so we're still working on all our connections and doing that. And this summer, like, I've been getting tons more bookings.
In
Sweet.
the techno world.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you find
Awesome.
an agent that's passionate about the music that you love too.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
in terms of what you were talking about, I still approach promoters sometimes, just like what Jeremy does.
Right.
And my agent's really wicked, because if it's someone, like if it's a friend in Calgary or surrounding, and I already have a relationship with them, he'll let me take care of it.
Yep.
He'll let me take care of it.
1000%.
I will
Local
set-
stuff.
Yeah,
That's a
Okay.
pretty
yeah,
common
for
thing.
real. That's
Yeah.
important.
Even not even local stuff, just like even like Vancouver and whatnot, because I already have a relationship with them.
Right.
And I will set, like, we'll talk about money like ourselves, like all the arrangements myself.
Okay.
But anything that's like new-ish, he will take care of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And or if I feel like he needs to take care of it, then I will pass it off to him, and I won't obviously say talk to my agent, because that is rude. But yeah, being personal about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's my story.
Nice. So you started producing,
Yeah.
playing a little bit, and then eventually releasing your music on their labels, which kind of led to the
Snowball,
snowball alongside of DJing as well.
Yeah.
So you were DJing frequently when you were releasing stuff on labels?
At the beginning, not so much.
Yeah?
More so now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So producing was definitely
It's
pretty
it's-
important too.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
I push it quite a bit, because
Yeah.
that's how I started.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I was producing as well.
Yeah.
But I wasn't producing as much. I didn't take it as seriously as I was when I was DJing.
And we both
That's
Yeah.
started, like, it was DJing.
Yeah.
Which led to producing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was still I was still messing around with producing, but it was like
Yeah.
like I said, I wasn't serious about it.
there
you
was
know?
there was a good, actually in the past two and a half years, that's when I started taking it super seriously. Like, I was producing and I loved it, but I started dedicating more time and more commitment to it.
For
Right.
sure.
And that's when the results started
Yeah.
happening. So, like, I was super serious about it. You know, some of my friends and acquaintances and whatnot, they would go out every weekend and party. I was at home in my studio making music,
Nice.
and that's all
right.
I did. That's all I did.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And
That's exactly it.
I would still go out, you know, from time to time and network and like
Yeah.
talk to people, but that was my priority.
Yeah.
So,
1,000,000%.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Like
and practice makes perfect, right? You'll
Yeah.
get better along the way. So
I think about it now. We're the same age, and I think we talked about this too. I was like, yo, like, you know, I hear all my other friends like in our age range are like, oh, I'm so old. Oh man, I was like, yo, I can't relate, yo. Like, I wasn't partying in my 20s. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I was like, I was working on music.
Yeah.
I was in like one relationship for a really long time. Like, yeah, there was no crazy late nights unless
Yeah.
like it was a late night with her, right? Like, yeah, it was basically me and my tunes, like, yeah, and I was in
100%.
school, so it was like all that.
yeah,
Very
I
different
definitely
lifestyle.
Yeah.
definitely did not party in my younger age.
I was
I
clubbing
still
hard. Very hard. Very,
Yeah.
very
was
hard.
a bad role model, everyone. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Let's go clubbing sometime. See you standing at the end of the night.
Oh, I'll definitely stand in.
I don't know, then you might.
I saved my energy. That's why.
Yeah. These
My
days, I
energy
might
got
just,
saved.
These days, I might just find you packing and opening boxes
Yeah.
and just.
We talked about this 2 weeks ago. When were we sick and tired?
Last
last
week.
week.
No,
Last week? 2
yeah,
weeks?
Last
yeah,
week?
yeah.
We were
Last
sick and
week?
tired.
week.
Yeah, it was last week.
Man, like, I honestly, I want to make music so bad right now. I'm just feeling, I don't know if it's the move that's like made me so, I'm just feeling so transitional and just, I have all these feelings and all I want to do is make music and I
Can't.
can't right now.
Yeah.
I have to
True,
get
true,
my
true.
room ready
Yeah.
and
There's the motivation you have right there.
I'm hoping to honestly make a lot of music this summer.
Yeah.
Good.
Release it to nobody so no one ever hears it because that's what I do. Because I'm a scaredy cat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just need to make some music.
Yeah.
For sure.
You need that
Need
mental
that outlet.
Dude, it's
An outlet.
you never appreciate it till you're just like You don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
That is a common thing. Yeah.
Anyways, segue. Sorry.
Yeah. Let's bring it back in.
Yeah.
Uh,
But it does. It makes sense. Like, if you focus on your craft, especially
Yeah.
in the time that you're, I don't know, it's never too late or anything like that. But I found it is harder later, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense. You know what I mean? It's harder to pick up on later.
Yeah.
Down the line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When I decided I wanted to start DJing again, like a lot, in like 2010, like I quit my job, and I remember I was driving with my friend Mandeep. Shout out Wax Romeo. in
Yay!
London.
Shout out Wax Romeo.
Miss you.
What up, player?
Wah, wah,
Miss
wah,
What up,
wah,
player?
wah, wah.
And I had a really nice bartending job, and I was making a lot of money. And he's like, "So what are you gonna do now?" And I just looked at him. I'm like, "I'm gonna be you."
oh.
And he's like, "What?"
Tight.
And then I DJ'd. That's all I did for 5.5, 6 years. All I did. I was DJing all the time.
Sweet.
Wow.
All the time. That's all I was doing. I was playing between 8 and 16 times a month, depending
That's
on
so
which
dope,
month. And it was just
yeah.
DJing. Because that's what I wanted to do again. I was like, I just want to play now.
Yeah.
It's like what I did when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I never got that opportunity when I was a lot younger to play in a club a lot.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I was almost 30 at this point, and I was like, no, I'm just going to start DJing again. And it was like, producing has always kind of been secondary for me. Like, I love
For
DJing.
sure.
That's what I
man.
wanted to do.
Yeah.
That's what I always wanted to do, was be a DJ. So it was the same thing. It was like, I'm going to DJ.
Yeah.
And I was DJing as much as I could, and I would take every gig, and I paid gigs.
Paid
Aha.
gigs, yeah.
Don't forget
Yeah, I
that.
was gonna ask you about your gig experience with you.
I never played for free,
You never played
the
for free.
story.
Yeah.
No.
That's the story.
That's it. You just played as much as you could.
but I'd do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I had a rock night for like 3
Oh,
years.
nice.
And I didn't know anything about rock music.
Yeah.
Anything.
Just
But I talked to a local club owner, bar owner who I had a relationship with, and I had a meeting with him one day, and I was like, I need another gig right now. I'm like, do you have anything? What do you got? And he's like, I got this Monday night rock gig I want to start at this bar. And I was like, okay. He's like, do you know anything about that?
Oh
I was
my
like,
God.
can I play Dr. Hook? Because my dad used to listen to Dr. Hook, and he's like, yeah. I was like, can I play the Pretenders? He's like, yeah. I was like, cool. So that was like the
God.
two.
And it turned into a rock night.
And then I sat and I just love music.
Yeah.
So then it
Yeah.
became I looked at it as an opportunity to learn about a style of music that I didn't really know that much about. Like, I liked documentaries and stuff, but that became one of my favorite nights. I loved that night. It was easy. It was fun.
Fun, yeah.
We got drunk.
it's probably pretty different too, eh?
It was totally different. I sat down.
Ah,
They
yeah.
didn't pay me enough to stand up. We were like 3 weeks in, and they had this like low table, and it was like hurting my back because
I
I'm
hate
tall.
that.
And I was like, guys, I need a tall table, and they're like, this is what we got. I'm like, if you want me to stand up, you're gonna have to pay me more. They're like, we're not paying you anymore. I said, okay. So
I'll
we
sit
pulled it
down.
up and we sat down, and the DJ sitting
sweet.
down.
That's amazing.
But I got paid, and that was the thing.
Wow.
There's, like, something not mentioned is, and I think this is valid with touring too, is sliding scale.
Right.
Getting paid is getting paid.
Yeah.
But, tiny festival, first year, you're their headliner.
Gotta work with them.
They they're expecting 150 people for their festival, right? Like,
Yeah.
they're nice. They're bending over backwards to try to book you. Maybe
Make sure you're good too.
Cut 'em
Make
a
sure you're
break.
okay.
Yeah.
Like you're comfortable while you're
totally.
there, right?
Maybe you cut them a better deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
As opposed
Yeah.
to, Super Club 5000,
Yeah.
who, has been open for 10 years and who has world-class headliners every Saturday
Yeah.
night.
$125. That's happened to me once.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
Went and played a show.
For headlining?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
That's
Like
brutal.
drove an hour, and then they're like, check.
Wow.
And check. I was looking at the check. I was like, oh, okay. I'm
You-
never coming back here.
You're like these are my tips, right?
yeah. I was like, I'm never coming back here. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yep.
Wow. So yeah, let's bring it back to the road. I like this.
Yeah.
I have a question that I think you all have a story about this, which is your best and worst on tour or travel gig experience, any kind of horror stories or an amazing experience? Maybe you had an unexpected guest show up.
Are we talking like the gig itself or travel?
Let's talk about the gig itself, because I think traveling, so many things can go wrong with traveling. I mean, we could have a whole podcast
Yeah,
on
I was talking to you
travel
guys earlier
things.
about
Yeah.
that. I got a good one.
Yeah.
I've never really had really bad ones yet.
Oh, yeah?
There probably will be, for sure,
Yep.
but I haven't had one yet.
Oh, they'll
Yeah.
come.
So,
Unfortunately.
crossing my
Okay.
fingers,
Unfortunately,
knock on
yeah, I hope they're
wood.
far
Yeah.
away.
I had a really good one. It wasn't so much on tour, though. Can I still talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it in Calgary
It was
then?
in
or-
Calgary.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it's a really good show. So it was the Richie Houghton show.
Okay.
And prior to that, I was chosen to participate in the Master in Residence program at
Oh.
National Music
National
Center.
Music Center, yeah.
Shout out Paul Brooks.
Yo.
Yeah, Paul.
NMC.
And so I got to know him beforehand, before the show, and he was playing that night.
Paul
Yeah.
Brooks?
So no,
Richie.
Richie.
Oh, Richie
Yeah.
Houghton.
Sorry, I
Okay.
should clarify that. Richie. And I was asked to be a direct opener for that show, but those two were not related at all. It just happened like that. So I got to know Richie beforehand, and before the program, the Master Residence program ended, I just quickly said, hey, like, I'm direct opening for you. And he literally said, that's amazing, I'm going to stand there and watch.
Wow.
And so the night came, and it was my turn to, play, and about 3/4 of the way through-ish, I'm, like, really into the groove and, like, really loving it, and, people in the crowd were, like, going awesome, and
Yeah.
it was a super good show.
Yeah.
I look to my left, and Richie's there,
He's just standing.
standing there watching me, just going like this. And I'm just like, holy
Oh my
crap, I better not
gosh.
screw up now.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
that to me was amazing because he kept his word. And
Yeah.
it's not too often someone of that caliber will step out like that and stand there and watch. They'll be
Yeah.
in their dressing room or something, right?
Yeah.
In my experience.
Yeah,
And
100%.
Yeah, so that was really cool, and to me that was
That
an
is-
amazing experience.
That is unheard of, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Just
wow.
like him watching, and
Yeah.
and then when he was transitioning into what I was playing, he stopped for a second and he said, hey, like, you played really good. It was super moody and super like hypnotic, and that's what he loves, and that's what I love, and it was just amazing, just
Wow.
him saying that, and
Yeah.
it was just like, I don't know, it was cherry on top of the whole experience, because it was also my
Really-
birthday, so
Really pleasant night. And it was your
amazing.
birthday?
It was my birthday too.
Wow.
All this happened on my birthday, and it was like the best time ever.
I know that wasn't like out of town, but Richie Houghton, I remember when he came and did that artist in residency
Yeah.
program at the National Music Center, and all of you guys got to go and hang out with him, and then go play the show at Hi-Fi,
Yeah.
where I know for Sarmad, shout out Sarmad,
Sarmad.
like that was his dream show at the club. It
was.
was
Yeah,
it
it
was
was.
it was here. It was in Calgary.
And it was...
But it might as well have been like the whole club, and like everybody was transported to Berlin for
Yeah,
this
Yeah.
thing.
1,000%.
So it was in town, but I think
I
it's
Wasn't
felt
it-
like it wasn't.
It was also like an anniversary party, right?
It was.
it was
yeah.
the
It was a
10th, 10th or
something.
11th,
Yeah.
I don't know, something like
It
that.
was a big night,
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
huge night, and that was
Yeah.
a show that I know for Sarmad he'd been wanting to do since the day he got the job
Yeah.
there, right?
And
Like,
on the and to top it off, it was on a Wednesday night, and the club was packed.
Yeah.
It was so packed.
insane.
it
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
very small, nice place to go see Richie Houghton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. It was nice to
Nice.
see him in an intimate set.
He
Well,
was-
I wasn't there because techno, but I mean,
being from Detroit, it's like you see, like when he comes to town, when he goes to Detroit, you have to see him in a sea of people.
yeah.
Yeah.
In a literal sea of
Right.
people, like thousands and thousands
Yeah.
of people
Yeah.
at the festival. At some club, like
Yeah.
it'll be like
It's
the
just-
capacity of the club will be
Yes.
like 800, 900,000 people.
Even more than that, yeah.
Yeah, even more than that. So to see him in a setting where it was like 250 people,
Yeah.
So intimate,
And I'm like,
and it was amazing.
unreal.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really awesome.
And he's such a humble guy too. Like at the artist in residence, he after all it was done, and he was about to do like the Q&A with National Music Center, he sat in the cafe with us and just chatted, like
Yeah.
whatever, right? It was just like a friend saying hi.
Yeah.
It was so cool. He's super humble.
Yeah.
Such a
Nice.
nice guy. Yeah.
Genuine guy. That's awesome.
Very cool.
So really, pleasant experience.
Yeah,
Crystal?
that was a good
That's
experience
good.
for me.
Yeah, and that's again a work in progress over the years, right?
Oh
For-
yeah, yeah. That was amazing.
Yeah.
That's better than like getting a festival gig in
Oh, yeah.
Regina or something. I
Yeah.
think like no
Yeah.
offense to that,
No,
but just
like,
like
it's a
that
top
kind of
story.
experience is
Yeah.
like yo yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
he's one of my idols, so it was
Yeah.
awesome.
No,
when
it's
you
sweet.
get to play with a hero, it's always
Yeah.
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 Sweet.
Anyways, I don't have any
Wow.
horror stories, so.
All right, Jeremy. Horror story time.
Horror story time.
No, good story.
good story.
Good story,
yeah.
good story, and then we'll go to bad story.
Let's do it.
Best story. Like I said, I say it again. Palestine.
Yeah.
I want to know more about this.
Top gig. I flew to Jordan to meet with my homie Abdullah. It was his birthday. He was like, I was already in Europe at the time playing a bunch of shows, and he was like, yeah, like if you're gonna be here, I definitely would like for you to come to Jordan. We'll kick it because we were hanging out in Vancouver anyway.
Right.
When he was living out there, like that's where I would stay. Like when I was, whenever I visited that area, and yeah. So he was like, yeah, you should come through. And then he calls me one day. He's like, all right, I talked to some people. Let's get this set up. And he's like, I got a gig in Palestine, and I have a gig across the separation wall in Haifa for you. And I was like, sweet. And then a few phone calls later, it's got my flight from Amsterdam to Amman to Jordan. And yeah, we just went through that whole journey. Like, we met, like, we went through the whole crazy checkpoints and
Heard about that.
yeah, all the
Wow.
checkpoints, all that stuff.
Crazy.
We got into like Jericho, we got into Ramallah, like,
Huh.
and I pretty much kicked it around the city the whole time.
Really, yeah.
Saw everything, met like a bunch of people. Like the
Sweet.
night went without a hitch.
So it's like a travel experience that, your career took you there.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a vacation where you're
yeah,
like,
it
I'm
wasn't
gonna
like
hang
I was
out.
just
Yeah.
gonna hang out and check out a show.
And that's really cool.
It was
Yeah.
like I got booked to play these two shows,
Yeah.
And
and,
the
I was
shows were
headlining
dope.
both shows, and they were
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first show was like I'd say the second show was good. They showed a lot of love there. They
Yeah.
wasn't crazy busy. For the show the night before was just like mind blowingly like amazing
Yeah.
because we played for 6 hours.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then like another like one of the labels I work with, the press guy, his brother writes for Al Jazeera. So his brother was there and did a whole interview
Yeah.
on the dance floor, the dance scene in Palestine. And yeah,
Wow.
and I was like the main focus of that thing
Right.
because I was like the out of town guest and
Wow.
so on and so forth.
Super cool.
So yeah, that trip I would say in particular was the one that was like
Nice.
yeah,
5 stars.
like, I'm still like, wow, I really just went and did that. So,
Yeah.
That's amazing.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I
that's
think
really
that was
cool.
awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Dan,
Very
have
nice.
you gone to the Palestine?
Nope.
No.
Nope. I have been some other places though. My
Yeah.
story is actually it's not my gig.
It's not your gig.
No.
Oh.
So I've gone to Europe a few times and toured with some friends, some bands in Europa,
Oh.
and been to some cool shows. I love being on tour. It's so fun, especially with a band. It's like it's kind of a different vibe than, when you go to play out of town by yourself or with some DJs. It's like it's fun. It's super fun. But with a band, it's kind of different just because it's a lot. It's more work. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
you have all these instruments and you got to
Yeah.
rip everything down and make sure you have everything at the end of the night when people
Yeah.
are usually drunk. Get it all in the van. Get in
Yeah.
the van. Go to the next town. Find
Yeah.
a place. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Got to find a new thing. Get something to eat. Pull all the gear out. Make sure everything's working. Like it's just kind of a different experience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you don't show up with just a USB stick.
No, and it's
Yeah.
super fun, and I like it, and it's it's stinky and it's hot, and
Yeah.
it's just like you get real close,
Yeah,
a whole
yeah.
bunch of people in a car in a van. But I was with my good pals, Astral Swans. Shout out Matt Swan. Shout
Oh,
out
yeah.
Joe Ramirez. And they were on tour in Germany in 2014, maybe. And I linked up with them for the last 4 shows of the tour, and they did a couple of these house shows. They do this thing called like disco, house disco, bedroom disco, I think it's called. I don't remember. It's like a private website, and you have to sign up with your email address, and then you don't find out where the show is until the night of the show.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of
and
that
then you
kind of
show
stuff.
up, and
Yeah.
then
Okay.
like the party's in the house, but you don't know where it is. Right?
Yeah.
And Germany is pretty known for being just a really amazing place to tour. Like in Europe, everybody loves touring
My
in
It
Germany.
favorite.
is. It's so
Yeah.
much fun.
They're so
Yeah.
appreciative. People stand quietly.
Oh.
Like you could go to shows and everybody's quiet,
Actually
to
listening.
the show. Yeah, like
Yeah.
you go to Holland or England or something. You know, people are getting drunk and talking. While shows are happening.
Yeah.
But in Germany, generally, it's just like silence and
Yeah.
attention. It's very strange.
Wow.
But so they were playing this house show, and it's just Matt and Joe, so a guitar player and a drummer, and we showed up for one of these house shows, and probably, I don't know, 60 people show up to this house, and everybody gets in the house and sits down on the floor in the living room, everybody.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
And nobody knows this band. They like going to these shows, right? They're members of this like online community,
Yeah.
and they go to whatever is coming through town. They just
Wow.
want to see shows.
That's so cool.
We were in like, I think we were in Augsburg, or I think it was in Augsburg. Maybe it was Nuremberg. I don't remember. But we were somewhere down in like southern Germany, and everybody sits on the floor and is quiet. And they start playing their songs. And if you don't know Astral Swans, they play kind of like folky, like singer-songwriter stuff. It's pretty chill.
Yeah.
And everyone's just in silence.
Wow.
And I've seen Swan play here 100 times,
Yeah.
right? And he's my
Yeah.
friend. I'm like, yeah, great. But seeing him play in this kind of setting
Yeah.
just like brought a whole different context to his music to me. And we get to the last song, or they get to the last song, and in the last song he does a whistling part. It's like and he's whistling this like chorus,
Yeah.
and everybody in the whole room started humming along
Oh,
with this song that they'd never heard
Never heard,
before.
Wow.
They'd never heard it.
That
So,
is so cool.
it was just like, I remember I was sitting there and I was like, this is so dope.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
That is. So
And
really-
everyone just has a beer and they're listening nicely
Wow.
and just like, it's not the biggest show, the flashiest show. It's like, it's not
But
the
just-
greatest show I've ever been to in my life, but it just sticks in my head as like this
Yeah.
beauty of touring and this
Yeah.
beauty of being on the road and like,
people coming together in that unison kind of.
and their tour had been like, there was a passport lost and the car got broken into, all the merch
Oh,
got
no.
stolen, and like all this stuff, like there was
Yeah.
just disaster after disaster, and which can happen on a tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
But then you have those kind of shows, and I only was at 4 of the shows. Like they were telling me about some of the shows they in Germany. We're like, oh, we were in, I don't even remember, like Dresden, and it was just like this amazing festival, blah blah blah. But I was at this show, and it was just like, I was just in awe of the whole
Yeah.
experience, just sitting there, and I was looking around. I was like, am I gonna start crying? This is
Yeah.
so beautiful.
For real.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that really sticks in my head as like just a great.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing why you go. That's why you play in places. That's why you go
Yeah.
on tour. That's why
Yeah,
you
those
want to meet other
moments.
people. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
Shout out Astral Swans. Let's go to Germany again, brothers.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Find that bedroom house again.
Oh,
Yeah.
And everyone was so nice. We stayed
Yeah.
there the night, and everyone took care of us and fed us. And in
Wow.
Europe, they like take care of you.
Yes. Yeah.
You show up in a place. There's a home cooked meal.
Yeah. I
There's,
love Europe.
Like it's
so good.
Yeah, it's
a good time.
it's a different thing than
Yeah.
playing in Thunder Bay. No offense,
Wow.
Thunder Bay, but
I feel so good now listening to these stories. I don't want to bring the mood down and talk
Right.
about something so negative, like horror stories.
I don't
but-
got none, so this
But
is.
yeah.
I'm probably gonna jinx myself now.
I'll do a
But I
bonus.
do think we're reaching the end of the podcast time. So why don't we end on a nice positive note and just give maybe one short tip on how to avoid this? What would you give a young DJ or musician as a tip?
sometimes you can't avoid a bad situation.
Yeah, you
sometimes
can't.
Stay calm.
Stay calm, yeah. Yeah, be yourself.
You live and you learn.
You kn-
Live and you learn.
You
No,
know,
you don't be yourself. You're like, ah!
Yeah.
no, you know what the tip is?
Yeah.
And it leads back, refers back to what we were talking about earlier. Even when you're in this kind of situation,
Uh-huh.
you're in bloody hotel room situation,
Uh-huh.
it's not the people's fault around the situation
Yeah.
that this situation's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be nice to the car company guy on the phone.
Yeah, for
Be,
real.
be nice to
Yes.
the person who works at the dingy hotel. They're
Yep.
just
Yeah.
a person working there.
Yeah,
you
they're
know what I
working
mean?
there.
Like
You don't yell at
might
them.
be in a bad mood, having a bad day in a bad gig in a bad town, but don't take it out on the people who's it's not their fault.
Still
Yeah.
be humble. Be nice, calm.
Yeah.
Try to be calm.
Yeah.
Just try to be calm, because
Yeah.
some things will just not work out in your favor. And you just lose it. You'll feel
Yeah.
defeated.
And you make it up with the good moments, right?
Yeah, you
The
try to.
highlights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to be
Those gigs.
cynical about it, but like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
it will,
Like the worst
it will test
experience.
you.
Yeah, the worst experience is, on a balance, it's gonna be like this compared to the best experience.
yeah.
And you know what? If you feel like you're having more hard times trying to tour or touring than you are having good times, maybe it's not the thing for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and I know some bands that are just they're not a fan of playing tours.
It's
It's
it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
I love being out of town. I love being in a truck or a bus or a car, like
Yeah.
driving from place to place. It's the most fun thing in the whole world.
Totally.
Yeah.
But it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean, I've had travel nightmares.
Yeah.
Like, without question. So.
Oh, I do.
You know?
I have bad dreams about trips all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I've traveled. I've gone to the wrong airport. I've almost not made it to gigs, and
I always dream
So
that
on
I
and so
show up
forth.
in a place and it's just like so boring there. I know that's
Yeah.
like a weird dream, but I'll show up. I'm like, this hotel's boring. This town's boring. Everything's boring here, and like that's my nightmare. And I wake up, I'm like, oh, I spent all this money on a ticket or this or that or something.
All right.
Yeah.
So next episode, dance nightmares.
Yo, one thing that I thought of during this podcast, and this is freebie. I thought of the best techno label name.
Okay.
Techno label X.
I like it. Techno label X.
Isn't that the most techno thing? You'd be like,
That is cool.
that's the most
That is
techno
cool.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone can take that.
All right.
Techno label X.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing all your stories, guys. I really enjoyed it, and I think it
course.
gives me hope. It gives me a little bit of fear, anxiety thinking about it, but I will definitely be getting
That's
on the road.
touring.
Yeah.
Hope
That's
plus
touring.
anxiety.
Yeah.
Bang.
Exactly. So,
I hope this doesn't break, and this promoter's making me very nervous right now.
yeah. And I come back home and I'm not starving, right? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
Sometimes
go.
you gotta.
but awesome. Well, thanks so much. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.